Welcome to So I Hired a Copywriter Part 2. On this episode, I'm going to dive a bit deeper into why I hired a copywriter, what a soap opera sequence is, and the tension points along the way, and how empowering it is to ultimately hire a who to increase speed to market. Enjoy this episode.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Mischa Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
Okay, so the last episode I'd tailed off on, or I'd ended on how I'd done the tools for a Good Life Summit. It had been 20 months to 2 years in between launches, and so now I've had a successful launch, and man, it is time to execute and spread the word. I love that. I love it so much I wrote it on my big whiteboard. It's time to execute and spread the word. And I got a ton of stuff to execute on, so I'm building out the membership site. I'm doing classes, and I want to, continue marketing, and it's time to build. It's time to build the influence army and help my heart-centered entrepreneurs bring their message to market in a big way. Like, let's go on influence tour, people. So yeah, you should join the waitlist. So when I open the doors, you can get in on round 2. Anyhow, I'm still in Russell Brunson's 2CCX. It's this, $30,000 a year coaching program to help us do all this digital marketing stuff. And one of his big main messages is the who and not the how. If you want to increase speed to market, find the who to help you versus trying to figure out how to do it yourself. And now that I'm in this digital marketing space, I've been in it deep for, over 3 years, if I look at the exact timeline. And when I say deep, like investing a lot of time, a lot of resources, like over $100,000, like paid for coaching groups, courses, for who's, for all, just digging deep, learning, traveling. Gosh, if I think about all the travel, it's even more than that. I'm coming close to 200,000, I'm sure, but like legitimate investment. So when I'd completed the tools for a Good Life Summit, one of the things that the coaching group was teaching us was that, you need to have a soap opera sequence. So as you're bringing people onto your lists, that you have, an automatic 5 to 7 emails that go out that introduce you, that build the know, like, and trust factor, that really serve the audience that has opted into your thing. And a virtual summit, is a great way to get to build your email list quick. So I did my virtual summit. I got close to 600 emails from people who opted into the summit. A bunch of them paid for the VIP upgrades. So it was a chance to monetize. 2 things I did poorly, however. There's a lot of things I did good. One was getting 600 people to register. Like, I know a lot of people that do these summits and have a very hard time executing on getting the people to register piece, on getting people to promote piece. And for my first summit, for my first time in the digital marketing arena, I was very proud of what I accomplished, and actually got a ton of feedback from people that were like, man, great work. So many people invest a lot of time, money, and effort in these summits, and you can spend a lot, like, hiring people to build out these summit funnels and make them look good and do all this stuff, and people to help you organize and project manage and all these things, and then they fail on the getting your speakers to promote piece. And I was able to to execute on that, and so got a lot of great feedback. Anyhow, that was one thing I did very well. But what I didn't have in place was the soap opera sequence, which is what I just hired the copywriter for now. And so I didn't have that. I also didn't have a back-end offer for people. I apologize for the wind as well. I forgot my windscreen. So no back-end offer. I didn't have like a course to sell at the end of it. So I didn't make money. I lost money on the summit. Really what you're hoping to do is break even. So you're hoping that all your resources that you put into building the virtual summit and doing all that, you have break even. So in effect, if you get 500 leads or 1,000 leads, or some people like Matthew McConaughey, he just did his, it was a challenge, I think, but it's the same kind of thing. He had him on there, Matthew McConaughey, Dean DeGraziosi, Tony Robbins, Jenna Kutcher was probably on there, people like that. But they had, 3 million people register. And so all of a sudden, Matthew McConaughey goes from having a small email list. I mean, he's got massive influence and a massive following, but he was able to turn that into emails overnight. Overnight, he turned that into, I think it's like 3 million or 5 million emails or something like that. Now he can sell courses. It's funny, Matthew McConaughey is going to be a course seller. An inspirational course seller. So amazing. But you get the picture. So he was able to monetize, and that was a well-produced thing. So who knows what he spent hundreds of thousands or to produce his virtual challenge, his live virtual challenge, or what was it? I don't know what he called it, workshop or something. And the other thing I didn't do well is I did not have the soap opera sequence. So I had no offer on the back end. So I lost money on the endeavor. And then I had no soap opera sequence to indoctrinate my new leads, my new emails into the Mischa ecosystem. And I knew it, and I was very frustrated. And so through the coaching that I'm in at that time, and still today, they're like, you got to create your soap opera sequence, and they even had a course included, and so you could do that. So I started the course, but it was like a 20-day course, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this done. I'll do it later. And of course, it never got done. And in the back of my head the whole time, there was the who, not the how. Like, I could have just hired, at the time, it was Yara Golden, I believe, is her name, and her subscriber reviver program, and a good way to do it. So it's not, you don't also just have to hire someone to do it for you. You can join a done with you program. So for example, for my founding member launch, I joined Stu McLaren's membership experience to help me get this launch done. I was like, I got to get the launch for my membership done. I got to get this thing going. This time lag of 22 months, 2 years, somewhere around there between launches was too much. So I was like, Stu's my who, right? Stu McLaren. He is the membership master. He knows how to do this. He is one of the best. So I paid for that speed, and it's funny that I say that now. And so the next obviously was the copywriter, who's Krista Nichols, for the soap opera sequence. But for the last 2 years, or since I had done the summit, the Tools for a Good Life Summit, it was nagging in my head. Hire a who for this, hire a who for this. And as a matter of fact, Yara would be just fine. I could go down even more rabbit holes about it's so interesting that, that's why people oftentimes speak into other people's groups and do all these sorts of things, because now they're teaching to an audience, and when people want speed, they'll pick up the phone and pay for that person that they have been introduced to. So for me, it was Yara Golden. I hired Krista, however, because Krista is in the coaching program in the 2CCX. And so I work with her all the time via the coaching, but she's is made available to help outside of that. So yes, I was coming out of the founding member launch going, thank goodness I paid for speed with Stu in joining his program, which is done with you. And then Krista is done for you. So it was really cool. I did this interview with Krista. She just did an interview with me for 2 hours, asking key questions and basically filling out this whole origin story worksheet and, a bunch about your customer and psychographics and demographics and your stories and all these things. And then she'll take all that information and make your email sequence. And it's really cool. It was a super fun experience. Exhausting though. God bless Krista. But the interview is done. Man, that's why I was tired, having a hard time finding momentum to record a podcast episode or two. Now, the real interesting thing about this as well is how Chat GPT fits into all of this, and how Chat GPT, I'm going to tease the next episode. I'll talk about how I'm using Chat GPT now, and it's speeding up everything. That's a great thing about Chat GPT, but also interesting side effect is that it intuitively let me know, hire a copywriter instead of trying to use the tech to do it yourself. I think that's a good place to end, and let's listen up for part 3. All right, have a good day. And of course, get on the wait list for the next round of when the Influence Army opens the doors again, because people are stoked. Shara is her name. Shara literally is one of my founding members. She literally told me today, she said, "Hey, Mischa, this is incredible. This is insane what we're doing here." She's so exciting. She's excited. She's getting so much value. She told me, she said, "Hey, I will gladly give you any endorsement, any testimonial, whatever you need for when you open the doors again, because I know you will be." So that was extremely gratifying. But yeah, so people are getting value already. And I need to start getting those official testimonials as well. Anyway, listen for part 3. And get on the wait list by clicking on influencearmy.com/FML. And it's actually theinfluencearmy.com/FML. The link will also be in the show notes, and you can get on the wait list.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.